Storytelling, Dan.
Love it.
I do too. Unfortunately, I think sometimes with sales, and I fall in this trap of I'm kind of enamored with a story, but it really doesn't fit the circumstance. But I love telling the story, kind of, so it happens. It happens to all of us. But the big component, I think, is are you telling stories that your prospect can see themselves in that story, or they don't, and it'll become obvious that your solution or opportunity just isn't a fit, and that's okay too. But talk about how to better get the prospect seeing themselves in the stories you're telling.
You better have some good stories.
Yeah.
And one of the ways you know is you go on sales calls and a story falls flat. All right, I won't use that one again.
Yep.
If one seems to really resonate, you tuck that away somewhere. And there's probably 2 or 3 dozen stories I will use that I'll just pull that I've used for years. Right?
Yes.
So as an example, I was meeting with a sales manager, really good in sales, strong religious guy. And he said, why in the world should I do Sandler? And I said, it's kind of like going to church. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, if you are a strong religious guy and you go to church, you're not learning something every week. But some weeks you are. And you never know when that's going to hit you until you actually show up. I go, sales training is like that. You might be really good. You might not learn something every time there's a training session, but some training sessions you will, and you never know. So, or another example, I was meeting with a guy who worked out at the gym all the time, and I said, sales training is like going to the gym. He's like, how so? I said, if you do a one-day workshop, you get really nice for that day, guess what? A month from now, you're back to flabby me, right? So you got to keep working. You got to keep going every week. He got it. So you got to get these stories and then utilize them versus whoever you're talking to.
From now on, Flabby Dan.
No. All right.
All right, everybody, see you.
Take care.